Afak, you can start your session on a very
Uh,
important how to write a research paper,
all right,
uh,
all right, all right,
write a review paper, basically.
right, 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 right.
You have a good expertise in writing a review paper, and you have a very good research profile. We would like to get benefit out of your these expertise. Thank you. Start.
Uh, Thank you, Sir Jahangir. Actually, I have prepared a presentation, and that will try to cater every type of researcher at each level, whether he or she is working at kind of entry level researcher or they are about to start their research career. So it will try to cater everyone, and let's make this presentation quite interactive. So if you really think there is any ambiguity or confusion, you can stop me at there, or you can, note down your questions to, ask the questions at later once I finish the presentation. So, okay, so this presentation is mainly targeted on giving you some tips and some introduction about writing a review article. There are numerous types of research papers that normally we try to write and then get them published in different good journals, of quality journals. So out of them, one is review article. So I will try my level best to make this as simple as possible, and then start telling you a kind of possible strategy. There are many, though, approaches where you can um start with writing this review article, but mainly we are focusing on uh, the review article. So. You know, that's true that research may be done alone, but it cannot be done in isolation. What does it mean? I mean, it is obviously very much recommended that you start working with a lot of different and diversified people or different experiences, and then you work together in a collaboration and you prepare a scientific document which can help the scientific fraternity. But that's it's totally fine that you can, write a research paper or you can perform any research task being alone, but it cannot be done in isolation. That means that whatever you bring something new to the scientific community, that has to be supported by different literature survey, right? I mean, you have been listening a lot of news that somebody, just popped out and he started saying on national media that I have prepared a machine or a device that can enable your car to be driven on water, right? But scientists, they were having serious doubts because that person was unable to, tell anything in correlation with the previously done work. So the idea is that whenever you perform any research, whenever you are trying to achieve any task, definitely you get help from the already done work. And that's the reason, I mean, that's main reason that scientific society is getting larger and larger day by day. Because everyone, I mean, they have done something, and then Afak, for example, his group is coming and they are trying to introduce a new thing or improvement into already done work, and that's how the things should be. So the production of new knowledge is fundamentally dependent on past knowledge. If somebody is coming to you and they are directly claiming that we have introduced this new thing or we have invented this thing, he or she has to bring something like set of proofs, like set of equations, and a scientific process has to be there which can prove that previously this work was already done and now we have used the same work and introduce a new change in that. So that is very important, that you cannot do work in isolation. The research paper in peer reviewed journals, preferably with high impact factor. So it's again a debate that is it like a high impact factor journal will have higher impact in the scientific community, or is it like a lower impact factor journal will have lower quality of papers to be published? I think it's a debatable topic. I'm not going in that controversial topic, but this is one factor that we can normally think about. I mean, generally, that we try to publish our research work in high impact factor journals. So again, then there is another type, that is short communication. Normally, we have one full paper or full article in which you provide the details of each and everything that you have performed to attain that specific task or goal. And then there's the short communication in which editors of the journal, they are more interested in the results. मतलब जो आपने रिजल्ट्स प्रोवाइड किए हैं उसमें ज्यादा वो इंटरेस्टेड होते हैं, और उनकी इतनी एक्सप्लेनेशन normally required nahi hoti. So that is called short communication. That's mostly in that cases when you have short of time and you think that your results are quite promising और आप उनको जल्दी जल्दी पब्लिश कराना चाहते हैं, तो आप एज अ शॉर्ट कम्युनिकेशन और एज अ लेटर आप पब्लिश करते हो। उसमें रिजल्ट्स ज्यादा उन रिजल्ट को ज्यादा देखा जाता है, इतना ज्यादा उनकी एक्सप्लेनेशन पे फोकस नहीं किया जाता। एंड देन द थर्ड वन इज रिव्यू आर्टिकल। दे आर यूजुअली हाईली साइटेड, और क्योंकि दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ अ लॉजिकल आर्टिकुलेटेड कंसोलिडेशन ऑफ ऑल द वर्क्स दैट हैव बीन डन ऑन स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक। तो जो भी नए रिसर्चर्स होते हैं, दे नॉर्मली कम एंड दे स्टार्ट रीडिंग दोस रिव्यू आर्टिकल, क्योंकि उसमें एक स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक के बारे में दे गेट ह्यूज इंफॉर्मेशन एंड अ काइंड ऑफ हियरार्किकल डेवलपमेंट ऑन दैट टॉपिक। So that's why people prefer reading review articles in order to see the trend of the topic, and sometimes they also find research gaps in review articles. So these are basically different articles types that you can think of publishing. Peer reviewed, I mean, all impact factor journal, they have peer reviewed process. Means the editor of journal, they send the submitted manuscripts or articles to independent reviewers, and then they provide their technical comments, and you start incorporating them in order to improve your manuscript. And that's how the things work. So then again, conference proceedings are also there. Then normally you submit your paper into a conference and then you present that paper, and that also helps you because a lot of experts, they come and listen to your talk, and then on the time, on the spot, they give you valuable comments that what things you should improve. So then letter to editor is also there. So this is a graph that can really motivate a lot of students who are trying to think about doing research. So you can see over here that in x-axis we have time after publication in years. So up to 18 years of time has been considered, and then this is in y-axis shows the citation. So normally a full paper, which is normal article that you write, means for example, Sir Jahangir has developed a model for inverter, for example. So he will write a paper that's called kind of full paper or normal research paper, right? And then letter is actually a short research paper, in which I told you that normally we focus on results and explanation is less given. And the third one is review article. So you can see over here that review article has higher number of you may call citations, and even up to 18 years, if we consider this specific case, you will see higher number of citations being given to a review article. The reason being that more people prefer reading these review articles. But in case of letter, it is a short span of time, means up to 2 to 3 years, it will bring more citations. More citation means more people are reading your work and they are trying to do similar work with some improvement, and they are giving you credit by giving a citation to your work. So the full paper has less number of citations. So showing this slide never means कि आप सब review article लिखना शुरू कर दें. That's not the case. Writing a review article also brings some responsibilities and some situations where you can write a review article. It's not every time you only focus on this review article. I will tell you in the end that how normally review articles are published in good journals, right? But of course, your main focus should be full paper. But when you have started writing few papers, and now it's a good time to start try review article publication. So what is a review paper? It is actually a consolidated review of a specific topic that provides sufficient and in-depth interpretation and synthesis of published work. Normally, we have a misconception that review article is all about, merging different published works together and then make a single file and then start publishing it. That's a review article. It's a big no. That's not how the review article can be written or prepared. When you think that this is a topic which needs, a lot of work has already been published and this is the main issue in that topic, then in that scenario you start consolidating the papers and then you have to provide your own analysis to those works, the trends, in-depth analysis you have to provide. It's not like just mixing the papers and then just explaining that this work proposes this one. For example, that author has provided this proposed model. Not like that. You have to logically interpret those works together and you have to create a kind of story so that anybody who reads that review paper, he should not feel that, okay, he has just put all papers together and explained. No, there should be a logical connection. I'm gonna show you in later slides. So why review paper is very popular? Of course, it provides extensive review of previously published literature to put them into a perspective. I told you that, of course, you will bring lot of already published works together in a one article, but that has to target a specific perspective. For example, in my field, soft robotics, I always read papers, every day, and I hope you guys do the same in your particular field. So, with the passage of time, I can see that 4D printing is getting more popularity in the design and development of soft robotics, right? So it is a kind of perspective. But to prove or materialize that perspective, I have to download and check all those publications or previous works which can support that perspective, and that's how I will try to logically connect them and start working on that. So there has to be a perspective, there has to be a kind of research gap. uh, this is how things work actually, and it offers critical evaluation of published literature. So I told you that it's not about mixing the papers, but it is about providing an in-depth, logical, and result-oriented evolution of that work that you think. For example, there would be set of papers which have been developed using a specific inverter technique in power system or power electronics, right? So you can see that you had that perspective by reading few papers that this technique is now providing this problem. So you have to find the papers in which that problem has been highlighted, or by looking at their results, you can conclude that yes, this problem is there, and due to that problem, the results are not that much promising. So you have to connect them logically. Then it creates an understanding of the topic. I told you that even when I was doing PhD, or when my friends used to do PhD, their supervisor or PhD advisor, normally they used to share few review articles on their specific research area to read them thoroughly. And that's how a new researcher or the new students who are about to start their research career, they read and go through review articles, because they will find a lot of works in that review article. And then this is quite important. Rather than reading a lot of research articles, you can, it's comparatively easier to read a review article and then identify the gap in knowledge. Because normally you will see that the editor and journal, they demand the authors to write current limitations or current challenges and future recommendations. So obviously the group of authors who have written one review article, who have gone through almost 100 to 150 research papers in that specific field. So now, at the end of the review article, they are in certain position जहां पर वो हमें बता सकें कि यार हमें लगता है कि इसमें ये चैलेंजेस हैं और इसमें ये फ्यूचर काम है जो लोगों को करना चाहिए. तो उससे काफी एक एक लॉजिकली आपको बड़ा एक अच्छा एक गैप मिल जाता है या आइडिया मिल जाता है कि यार दिस इज द वर्क दैट हैज नॉट बीन डन येट एंड आई थिंक वी शुड स्टार्ट वर्किंग ऑन इट। तो स्टूडेंट्स के लिए ये बहुत अच्छा एक प्लेटफॉर्म होता है जहां पे वो अपनी रिसर्च एरिया में गैप तलाश कर सकते हैं। बट हैविंग सेड दिस, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि आप डायरेक्ट रिसर्च पेपर्स ना पढ़ो, रिसर्च पेपर पढ़ना बहुत जरूरी है। और आपको ये मैं बताता चलूं कि व्हेन यू स्टार्ट रीडिंग रिव्यू आर्टिकल, तो रिव्यू आर्टिकल के जब आप पढ़ते हो तो उसके दौरान आप उसके साथ 10-15 और रिसर्च पेपर्स ओपन करके बैठते हो। Because when you're reading a review article, you think that, oh, this really attracts me, this paper, because the author in the review article has also appreciated that work. So you can just go on the citation, search the paper title and you will download that and you will start reading that article. So it's not only that you will go through review article, rather through review article you will actually jump to many research papers that have been highlighted in review article, and then it provides a new approach or perspective that would stimulate further research. I told you that future challenges or future recommendations that will actually trigger your point that these are the new approaches that we should adopt in order to achieve the future recommendations or future challenges. So review article really helps in those things. And the bottom line is generate your own idea. Of course, when you are going through a lot of research papers, you will come up with an idea. It's not a big deal. Or your supervisor, your advisor, or your senior, normally they have gone through enormous number of research papers, so they have good knowledge that where the gap lies, or they know that lot of research papers have been published in that particular topic. तो इस पे हमें रिव्यू आर्टिकल एक लिखना चाहिए टू हेल्प द साइंटिफिक कम्युनिटी, ताकि जब वो फॉर एग्जांपल जब मैं आपको अभी एग्जांपल भी दिखाऊंगा कि हमने एक फ्लूइडिक टाइप वेरिएबल सेंसर्स पे एक रिव्यू आर्टिकल लिखा था. So when we were going through different research papers on fluidic sensors, honestly speaking, we hardly found 40 to 45 papers on that topic, and there was not a single review article on that. So we thought that it's better to help the community and by providing a very good perspective on that topic. So that's how we did it. And in the end, I will show you an example. So research paper is more than an annotated bibliography. It's like review article is more than combining, mixing, merging lot of research papers. ये मैं हर वक्त हर स्लाइड में तकरीबन बोल रहा हूँ, and that's how it should be. Okay, where is your perspective? Where is the evolution? Where is your critical assessment, your analysis, your own graphs, your own statistics when you read those articles? So you are not trying to list all the material published, but to synthesize and evaluate it so as to provide a new approach or stimulate further research. If your review article, when your reader is going through your review article, if there is no stimulation of further research, then I don't think that we have made justice to our review article. So that's how our target should be. And then what is literature? A collection of all scholarly writings on topic. Your own idea will connect to the developing knowledge network in the field. And I will not go through literature review. You know that already published work, right? Some people who are working on wireless communication, so they will find their own research paper. They are the part of literature survey, right? So a systematic method for identifying, evaluating, and interpreting the work produced by researchers, scholars, and practitioners. When you download a research paper, you have to identify different shortcomings and promising feature that research paper provided. And similarly, you have to evaluate them critically and then interpret or translate that into your own style, into your own perspective. So literature is about telling a story. That is quite important. A kind of a chain story where each writer starts with a partial story created previously by others and expand on it. The existing literature is a story so far. When you write a review article or even you write a research paper, you know that there is an introduction part which starts from abstract आई मीन आफ्टर एब्स्ट्रैक्ट। तो नॉर्मली कुछ स्टूडेंट्स ये गलती करते हैं कि वो हर पेपर को, क्योंकि वो लिटरेचर सर्वे का ही एक क्या कहते हैं पार्ट होता है, तो उसमें आपको बताना होता है कि मैं ये काम करना क्यों चाह रहा हूँ। सो इन ऑर्डर टू टेल पीपल व्हाई यू आर डूइंग दिस, फर्स्ट यू विल टेल देम व्हाट हैज ऑलरेडी बीन डन, राइट, और उसके बाद आप अपना काम बताते हो। तो उसमें एक चीज होती है जो नॉर्मली स्टूडेंट्स गलती करते हैं, हम खुद गलती करते हैं, कि वी स्टार्ट राइटिंग प्रीवियसली पब्लिश्ड वर्क्स इनटू पैराग्राफ्स। फॉर एग्जांपल, इस बंदे ने ये काम किया, फिर दूसरे पैराग्राफ पे इस ऑथर ने ये काम किया, इससे एक कनेक्टिविटी नहीं बनती। देखें, जब आप एक पेपर लिखो या रिव्यू आर्टिकल लिखो, तो कंसीडर योरसेल्फ एज अ रीडर, कि जब आप उस पेपर को पढ़ोगे तो डू यू एंजॉय रीडिंग दैट पेपर। और ऑब्वियसली जिस पेपर में, जिस पैराग्राफ्स में कनेक्टिविटी होती है, स्टोरी टेलिंग होती है, मतलब स्टोरी टेलिंग क्या होती है कि जब आपने एक पैराग्राफ पढ़ा होता है, दूसरा पैराग्राफ पढ़ते हो या दूसरे पेज पे जाते हो, तो आपको सारी चीजें पिछली याद होती हैं और आपको यही एक्सपेक्टेशन होती है कि इन द नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ, इन द नेक्स्ट पेज, वी विल हैव अ सेम कंटिन्यूएशन ऑफ स्टोरी। तो आपका जो रिसर्च पेपर है, दैट आल्सो फॉलो द सेम पैटर्न एंड दैट शुड फॉलो द सेम स्टाइल, और वी ऑल शुड फोकस ऑन दैट। So before deciding to write a review paper, ask the following question: Do I know my stuff sufficiently? देखें, इस तरह कभी नहीं हो सकता कि a student has never read a research paper and all of a sudden he or she comes to his or her supervisor कि मुझे टॉपिक बताएं जिसमें मैं एक रिव्यू आर्टिकल लिखूं। I don't think that is gonna work. और अगर वो काम करेगा भी तो that will not support the scientific community in true sense, because if you don't have the understanding of this stuff or the content that you are going to write, then I don't think that the other person will be able to understand what you're trying to say. So this is very important, that first you should have a in-depth knowledge about that particular topic. So start reading as many papers, understand the research articles, and then discuss with your seniors, your supervisor, so that you must have a critical assessment of each and everything that you're studying. And then which journal to publish by review. Of course, at this point of time, your supervisor will guide you that which journal is appropriate for you. Otherwise, when you start gathering or collecting the literature survey, those papers obviously they have been published into specific journals. तो वो journals की information आपको already मिल जाती है. तो then would it be considered? How to review the literature? देखें, it's quite simple. Read published work जो आपको journals में जो पेपर्स पब्लिश हैं उनको आप पढ़ें, इसी तरह से उनको इंटरप्रेट करें, एक्सप्लेन करें कि क्या क्या उसमें पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव चीजें हैं, और फिर उसको लॉजिकली एक आर्ग्यूमेंट और पर्सपेक्टिव में मिलाते जाएं, एंड दैट्स हाउ यू विल स्टार्ट राइटिंग पैराग्राफ्स, एसेज, आई मीन पेजेस टू पेजेस। सो अप्रोच टू डूइंग अ लिटरेचर रिव्यू, ये बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है। इट इज इम्पॉसिबल टू रीड ऑल द रिसर्च ever publish in your area. Abhi bhi, I mean, around 11 participants are there in this session. अगर मैं सबसे पूछना शुरू कर दूं तो you will see कि every person has different research area, और उस research area में it is next to impossible कि आप सारे का सारे research papers पढ़ो. That's not possible, right? So for that case, the key is to be selective in what you read, or else you will get drawn into much information. There is samandar of information and you will be drowned literally. So you have to be very selective. You have to confine yourself. You need to prepare a kind of outline कि मुझे इन ही boundaries में रहना है in order to write this review article. Otherwise, there is an example, आपको थोड़ा आइडिया हो जाएगा. Filtering and sorting the essentials from irrelevant. देखें, there are, when you start reading research paper या जब आप लिटरेचर सर्वे करने जाते हो तो दो चीजें होती हैं. वन थिंग इज एसेंशियल, जो टिप ऑफ द आइसबर्ग है, मतलब पानी के ऊपर जो बर्फ है वो आपको लग रही है ये एसेंशियल है, मतलब लेट्स अज्यूम कि ये हमारे लिए जरूरी है, हमारे रिव्यू पेपर को लिखने के लिए जरूरी. लेकिन अगर आप देखें तो नीचे वाली जो पिक्चर है, दिस इज मोर इंटरेस्टिंग, दिस इज मोर इमेजिनेटिव एंड दैट्स मोर अट्रैक्टिव. ठीक है, नॉर्मली हम गलती क्या करते हैं, वी स्टार्ट फोकसिंग this field of study or this group of research papers more, क्योंकि ये हमें इंटरेस्टिंग लगते हैं. इसमें कोई हर्ष नहीं है कि we start reading them, But for a time being, if your target is to write a specific review article where you need to be highly selective, you need to only pick up the essential things which you think that will help our readers. तो उसके लिए बेहतर है कि you should keep yourself onto this place only. इसको अभी छोड़ें. You can note down for the next review paper or for the next, future work. But that's how we make mistakes. हम इसको छोड़ के इधर चले जाते हैं, and then months and months pass, we don't do anything. So, range of literature to explore background material which is of broadly relevance to your topic. ये चीज ये एक एग्जांपल है जो आपको समझ में आएगी. हमारे पास एक जिलेटिन है, इंडस्ट्रियल एप्लीकेशन ऑफ जिलेटिन. अब मतलब आई एम टेलिंग यू हाउ यू कैन सर्च एंड सॉर्ट एंड फिल्टर द डेटा. ठीक है, हमें इंडस्ट्रियल एप्लीकेशन ऑफ जिलेटिन इज अ वाइडर टॉपिक, राइट. बट अगर हम उनमें से वो पेपर्स ढूंढे जो हलाल जिलेटिन अल्टरनेटिव्स इन इंडस्ट्री है, तो ऑब्वियसली पहले अगर हमारे पास 1000 पेपर्स थे, 1000 पेपर्स थे, देन दे वुड बी सॉर्टेड टू लेट्स सपोज 150 papers, and then out of these halal gelatin alternatives in industry, मैं ये चाह रहा हूं कि हलाल gelatin in food industry. तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि ये पेपर्स और कम हो जाएंगे. ठीक है, तो दिस इज हाउ यू फोकस. तो हमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा रेलेवेंट चीजों पे और जो मोस्ट रिसेंट है इन पे ज्यादा फोकस करना पड़ता है टू राइट अ रिव्यू आर्टिकल. ऑब्वियसली जब आप कोई भी रिव्यू आर्टिकल लिखते हो तो रीडर को ये एक्सपेक्टेशन होती है कि यार अगर ये पेपर 2022 में पब्लिश हुआ है तो इसमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा पिछले 5-6 साल या 10 साल के लिटरेचर सर्वे हुआ होगा. इस तरह नहीं होगा कि उसमें आपने कोई पिछले 50 साल पुराना पेपर भी उसमें डाला हो. फॉर स्पेसिफिक रीजन आपने हो सकता है उसको ऐड किया हो. अदरवाइज वी ऑलवेज प्रेफर द मोस्ट रीसेंट वर्क्स इन दैट पर्टिकुलर फील्ड. ठीक है, तो ये एक लिटरेचर रिव्यू का एक कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू नीड टू प्रोवाइड इंट्रोडक्शन टू द टॉपिक सो द रीडर कैन अंडरस्टैंड प्रॉपर्ली, एंड देन द स्कोप एंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रिव्यू, दिस लिटरेचर रिव्यू, एंड देन क्लैरिफाई योर पर्पस. तो हमने सर जहांगीर, दैट्स ऑल अबाउट द प्रेजेंटेशन. Now I will try to provide them one example how we publish our review article recently. You know that you are also the contributor in that paper. So actually what we did starting में हमने